Hi, it's Bonar again, and welcome back. I've taken a little break. I've been working on some new material for you guys. I've had questions from students about what is the structure of what I'm teaching, because sometimes I think it seems a little bit organic, but it is not. I go out of my way to make it feel very organic. So I do actually have an outline of curriculum when I'm teaching guitar students in a one-on-one scenario, whether that's in person or via Skype or Messenger. And so I wanted to make a very quick little video just to outline what my initial curriculum is. So when I'm starting with new students, my approach is that I teach by curriculum. So what I do is I try and teach you songs that you're interested in learning. And the reason behind that is because you will practice songs that you are interested in learning. You may not practice something that's assigned to you that's just a generic exercise. However, in the course of beginning to teach you, I assess what experience and skills you have. And I'm building a set of fundamental skills initially that are necessary for you to be able to play the guitar. So what are those skills? How to hold the guitar. So when you're first learning, it's really important that you hold the guitar in a position where you can reach things. I see a lot of people with the guitar on their knee and they've got the guitar neck out like this. It makes it very, very hard to hold the guitar and have a good grip. Okay, so that leads to number two, correct left hand grip. And you'll see there's a video in my beginner series about the crocodile grip. We definitely want to have a grip like this on the neck, okay, with our hand kind of straight, our thumb opposite to our fingers. I go into that in greater depth in the crocodile grip video. Number three, one finger per fret. So a lot of beginning students have trouble reaching the notes even of a C chord or an F chord. And it's because they're unaccustomed to having their fingers spread out. Now when we're playing lead or chords, it's essential in both cases that we have the ability to spread our fingers out a little bit. So we assign our fingers, one finger per fret. 1, 2, 3, 4 if I'm playing here. And we sometimes scrunch them up, like in the case of an A chord, but as a general fingers in repose, we have our crocodile grip and one finger per fret assigned. Squid hands, okay, number 4. We have to learn right from the very outset to squeeze and release. So when I'm going to play a chord, I squeeze the notes of the chord down, I play the chord, and then when I'm finished playing the chord, I relax my hand. I don't move my fingers around, but I relax my grip. This pulsing of squeezing and releasing is essential. Otherwise your fingers get sore and tired and you lose your accuracy and you stop having fun. So we need to do that. Precision placement of the notes. There's a sequence, a number of things here where I talk about, and we'll talk about 2 things here, okay? So, playing good sounding notes. One thing is the sweet spot, knowing, and I have a video about this in my beginner's list. The space right before the fret, where my finger is now, we call that the sweet spot because then that's the easiest place to hold the notes down. If I move my finger back away from the fret and hold down over here, I often get this. If I move my finger over, then with even less force, I get a nice clear note. Another aspect of good sounding notes is that we need to try to use the ends of our fingers as much as possible, wherever possible, to hold down the strings. Rather than the front of the string, the front of the finger, I should say, you get a more muddy sound. The end of your finger is nice and bony, holds the string down nicely. Let's see, we need to learn the string names, because if I'm telling you to put your finger on the G string, you need to know which one that is. Okay? So here are the names of the strings. E, A, D, G, B, E. I have those names labeled clearly on all the materials that I will give you, so it's pretty easy to figure it out. But here's the story that is easy to remember. Eddie, Katie, Dynamite, Good, Bye, Eddie. The beginning note locations. How do I know where the notes are? Okay, at first you don't know where any notes are. That's why we learn the string names, because then we know 6 notes. Because the strings are just tuned to notes. When you play an open string, you're playing a note. But how we learn the note locations initially is we learn the name of the note that is the root of the chords we're learning for our song. So if I'm playing a song or learning a song that has a G, a D, and a C, then the root note of G is this note here, 3rd fret on the E string. So we just circle that note on our chart with a highlighter, and just playing that chord over time, we very, very quickly begin to become familiar with the idea that that note is called G. And we just incrementally learn a few more notes and a few more notes as we learn our chords. And before very long, you know where most of the notes are in the first 5 frets of the guitar. You're not going to play much beyond the first 5 frets of the guitar for a little while anyway. Finger independence and control. There's a video in my series called Caterpillar Fingers, and that's this. We have to learn to be able to control our fingers, and yes, we need to use the pinky. We need to use all 4 fingers. Your pinky is not a dew claw. It is an essential digit. You will use it. And so we use the caterpillar fingers and other exercises to begin to develop independence and control in our left-hand fingers. Moving between notes effectively. So there's a bunch of different things that have to do with that. But and one of the videos on my hand magic series is move one finger. So when we're moving from one position to another, if I'm playing, let's say I'm playing a B minor chord, and the next chord I'm going to play is an A minor chord, that would be unusual, but that could happen. Move from the B minor, I'm going to relocate my pointer finger onto the first note of the A minor, and then rest of the strings down. By focusing on only moving one finger, choosing one finger and identifying the motion necessary for that one finger, and then letting the rest of the chord tones follow it simplifies our thinking and our learning. Basic chord shapes. There are only really 5 basic chord shapes, despite what anyone has told you. And those 5 basic chord shapes are C, A, G, E, and D. And that spells caged. There's a whole stream of learning around that, but those are the 5 fundamental shapes. And people always say, well, what about F? Allow me to illustrate. E, F, E, and F is just E moved up 1 fret. And then people always say, what about B? Allow me to illustrate. A, moved up 2 frets. B, moved down 2 frets. A. There are only 5 shapes. So that's nice because there's not too many shapes to learn. Moving between chords easily is one of the fundamentals, and now we're sort of getting towards the very end of rudimentary or basic foundation skills, and we're getting into actual playing skills. And so I use a system that I call chord choreography, which breaks down and gives you a systematic strategy for moving between any chord to any other chord with the least amount of difficulty and in a way that's easy to learn and remember. And then the last thing, and again, there's a couple of videos in my series about this. It's the last thing, and again, we're at the threshold of learning into of getting into actually learning to play songs, is double stops and playing barred chords. And if you look at my videos in Hand Magic, you'll see there's a couple of different videos there that deal with bar chords and the F chord. And so those are more or less the dozen fundamental things that I cover off when I'm teaching beginners. Those are the skills that you need to build in order to be able to learn to play comfortably and quickly and easily. And so that's just an answer to questions I've had about what my curriculum is. for beginning guitar players. So get in touch, send me an email or a private message. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Skype, I'm on Twitter occasionally. My email address is down there as well. And just send me a message if you want to inquire about setting up some Skype lessons, or if you want to inquire about one-on-one lessons in person if you're a local student. Thanks.